my name is Ava Rodland. We're at the Conscious Life Expo here in LA, and I'm an intuitive artist. I create pieces based on sacred Islamic geometry with laser cut wood and brass. As an intuitive artist, I channel when I'm creating my art. So as I'm creating the geometric designs and figuring out which types of crystals to use in them, I'm receiving messages from higher realms, from my spirit guides, from other guides, from extraterrestrial beings, also from ascended masters. And for this expo, I created an intuitive art gallery and a personal meditative space where I could display the art, but also create like a cocoon for empaths, for people who are very sensitive to energy, because at this expo there's so much energy, to like cocoon yourself in ground and center into your own energy and sit with a council of masters. So this is the meditative art gallery that I created, and it's also a unity consciousness portal because I've got 6 pieces on each of the walls. It's a hexagonal structure, which is also a structure that means harmony. It has an energy of harmoniousness, and each of the pieces is an artistic representation and expression of one of 6 ascended masters. So I have Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, and the goddess Isis, and I have Buddha, the Prophet Muhammad, and Jesus. And they asked me to create this space not only so that people can tune into the artwork, but they can ground and center into their own energy and sit within the council of masters and tune out other energies, because there's so much to ground and center into their own. Yeah, so I didn't really understand why I was getting into this when I started to get into it, but I received the intuitive hit and I just made it. After the products came out of the creative portal, I sat with them and I meditated and I asked Spirit, why are you giving me sacred Islamic geometry? I don't really understand. I don't really have any ties to Islam. And what I received was instantly I was transported to a past life where I was a Sufi sage, and I was creating the designs, the geometric designs for mosques. And I was also an architect, so advising my team of architects how to place them in the mosques, where to put them, and was shown an image of the fact that these geometric designs are keys to energetic portals. So this space is actually a portal, and it's a unity consciousness portal. And I've been told by the ascended masters in here to call it a unity consciousness portal because they're from very diverse religious cultures. And what they explained to me is that they are all facets of one and the same source. So they're just different emanations and manifestations of one and the same source. They are the same. They are unity consciousness, as are we all. So it's also when you go in and sit and meditate in there, it's a reminder that we're all one. We're all part of the same source. We're all sparks and flecks of the same source. And so they asked me to create this so that we can remember that and be in that energy and be reminded and find it within our cellular structure to know that we are all one source and we all emanate from the same source. So when I'm doing the readings, if a person decides that they would like me to do a reading for them, I automatically begin to see things in my mind's eye, hear words or songs that Spirit is kind of planting within my essence, and also feel things within my body that I know are relevant for that individual. So essentially, it's a psychic reading, an intuitive reading. But because I'm a very visual person and I love cards and I'm an artist and I love art, I also use tarot cards, because what they do is they amplify and they like open those doors. That energy that I'm already receiving within my body or the messages that I'm hearing, they kind of amplify them and they validate them and they add more color to them. So depending on the individuals that's there, I use different types of cards. So it's all intuitive. So there may be, if I have like 5 different decks out, I may decide for a particular person I'm intuitively called to use 2 or 3 decks, or maybe 1 deck, or use no deck at all. It really depends on each individual. So that's kind of a little bit about the process. Okay, so I offer a few products as well as services. Firstly, some of the products that I offer are energy tools based on sacred Islamic geometry. So I have tools that are the size of coasters, but they're energy tools. So each one has a very specific energetic imprint based on the actual geometry and the crystals that are used within them. I personally love to use them for like meditations, or if I'm doing any type of ceremony. They're really great for that, to call in specific energies. And I also offer services within the tent using the energies of these art pieces that are based on ascended masters. And the services that I offer are meditative sessions. So somebody can go in, put on headphones, have a beautiful meditative music in there, close out the outside world, and go into it, just basically sit with the ascended masters in their own energy and within the energy of the masters. And then I also offer readings, because when people do go into the tent, I begin to see things, hear things, feel things that are relevant to the individual in the tent. And so I offer a reading with using my cards. And I go in and I sit in the tent with them. And so we're like cocooned by the Council of Ascended Masters. And then I'll provide the information that I'm reading for that person. Also, one of the things that I love to do is when somebody is planning to do a session within the tent, I ask them to take one of these tools, set an intention, take one of these tools that most aligns with their intention, and that helps to like prime the energy of the tent to receive the messages that are relevant for the specific intention or question that they have. So, should we take a little tour of the tent? Okay, now we're inside the tent. This is a very cozy space. There's a lot of noise outside, but being in the tent already helps to calm the noise, and it's a very warm, energetic space. It's actually what the Council of Ascended Masters who are here with us have told me is it's like a hug. It's a warm embrace. So you come in here to kind of escape and be in your own energy and calm and center and ground within yourself. So I want to talk a little bit about the Ascended Masters and how they're represented in each of these pieces. So behind me, we have the piece that's representative of Mary Magdalene. And one of the things that she said to me when creating this piece, it's very much about femininity, about cloaking yourself. Mary Magdalene is often depicted in a red cloak, kind of covered. And that's depicted by the red tiger's eye that's in the piece. And the message that she said to me is that it's very much about being understanding that intimacy is a very sacred feminine aspect, and we cloak because not everybody is able to receive that intimacy. And so she's here to show us how to be in an energy of discernment, to discern when somebody is able to receive all of aspects of ourself and our intimacy. Buddha is a representative of, he's very green. Everything is green. He's a very loving energy. The crystals that I've used are representative of love. It's very heart centered, but it's also very grounding. It's a very earth energy. It's a very solid, stable energy. So he's here to bring stability. Isis is here, and through her energy, she invites us into the temple of Isis, which is this beautiful enclosed temple with this wonderful pool in the middle of the temple. And it's a space, it's a safe space where all expressions, every single expression of our being is welcome, honored, and loved by all of the priestesses of the temple of Isis. We're all held in every aspect of our being. Every aspect is seen, loved, welcomed, and valued. Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, his energy is very much about shadow and bringing shadow into the light. The depictions of the geometry may be triggering for some, and that's exactly what he intended, is to bring up shadow energy so that they can be bathed in light, and by a council of masters who can be seen as angelic figures that stand within the geometric structure of his design. Jesus is the sun energy. He's the fire energy. He's the illuminating energy. And so he's here to pull on our fire energy, pull on our truth, pull on the essence, the true essence of our being so that we can stand firmly within it. And Kuan Yin is the maternal energy. And often Kuan Yin is depicted kind of in a very soft way, but in this particular depiction and expression of her, she comes very fierce, uh, establishing very fierce boundaries, because that's the way that she tells us how we also create a nurturing environment for ourselves and show us how to nurture, self-mother, self-nurture. It requires that we have very firm boundaries. So each of these ascended masters are here to offer a different message, a different element, a different aspect, different numerological expressions, and together they create a sense, a calming sense, a very balanced energy, and just a space that's extremely loving, cocooning, nurturing, and it's just a really fun experience to be in the tent. I also have in the roof of my tent, like a little chandelier, crystal chandelier, which is called a chakra opener, but it also helps to create beauty in the tent and align the energies, and it's kind of acts in a pyramidal way because it's channeling energies into the astral realms. It's opening the crown chakra so that all of the messages and loving embrace of these ascended masters can be received. So I hope you feel the energy of this tent and want to come and visit it at the next pop-up I do, and I'll provide more details on that when I have it.